Now let me read on. And all the city was moved, and the people ran together, and they took Paul, drew him out of the temple, and forthwith the doors were shut. That's verse 30. And as they went about to kill him, now notice that, their bitterness and hatred of this man. Why? Because he was teaching you didn't have to go through the Mosaic system to be saved. Now, they are absolutely, of course, wrong in that. But Paul is right in following one of these customs if he wants to do it. He's doing it to try to win his people. Now, it didn't accomplish, apparently, the purpose he had in mind, but I think it accomplished a God-given purpose. Now, notice this. And as they went about to kill him, tidings came unto the chief captain of the band that all Jerusalem was in an uproar, who immediately took soldiers and centurions, ran down unto them, and when they saw the chief captain and the soldiers, they left beating of Paul. In other words, Paul would have been killed if this captain had not intervened in his behalf. Then the chief captain came near and took him and commanded him to be bound with 2 chains, and demanded who he was, what he had done. Now, this captain did not know him at all. He didn't recognize, as you and I would say today, why, this is Paul, the great apostle to the Gentiles. Well, he's not looking on him like that. He doesn't even know who he is. Actually, he thinks he's committed some crime because he puts him in chains. Now, some cried one thing, some another. That's always a mob. That's always the mob ruling among the multitude. And when he could not know the certainty for the tumult, he commanded him to be carried into the castle. Now the captain, when he couldn't find out what the charge was against him, why, he took Paul then into the castle. Now when he came upon the stairs, so it was that he was borne of the soldiers for the violence of the people, for the multitude of the people followed after, crying, Away with him! And as Paul was to be led into the castle, he said unto the chief captain, May I speak unto thee? Who said, Canst thou speak Greek? Now this man was amazed. Here's what he thinks is just a common criminal, and he speaks fluent Greek, that which the captain understood, since he was a foreign emissary. He was under a misapprehension of who Paul was. Here's who he thought he was. He says, verse 38 now, Art not thou that Egyptian, which before these days madest an uproar, and leddest out into the wilderness 4,000 men that were murderers? This was, in that day, you see, a mob leader, one of the protesters, taking a mob out into the country. And listen to Paul now, verse 39. But Paul said, I'm a man which am a Jew of Tarsus, a city of Cilicia, a citizen of no mean city. And I beseech thee, suffer me to speak unto the people. Now, he not only speaks Greek, but he says, I'm a Jew. And when he had given him license, now this captain said, Well, sure, I didn't know who you were. Go ahead and speak. Paul stood on the stairs and beckoned with the hand unto the people. And when there was made a great silence, he spake unto them in the Hebrew tongue, saying,